Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of Dr. Lorna Breen, who was an American physician who was the emergency room director at the Allen Hospital at the NewYork-Presbyterian. During the spring of 2020, she treated a lot of patients there with COVID-19, and then she contracted the virus herself. She isolated for a week and a half and then went back to work. Then in late April, she took a family break in Charlottesville, Virginia, where she passed away on April 26th, officially by her own hand, as a result of overwhelming pressure at work. Her father said she was truly in the trenches of the front line. She tried to do her job and it killed her. Make sure she's praised as a hero because she was. She's a casualty just as much as anyone else who died. Now, while the official ruling is that she caused her own death, there are people who wonder if her work and the fact that she was constantly in the limelight because of it during the pandemic may have attracted the attention of the wrong kind of people, so they're not entirely sure if it was actually by her own hand. There isn't a lot of information about the family trip that she took, and because some people wonder if more is going on, I was asked to do a reading on this case. We're going to do that starting with the Urban Tarot deck, which is already on the table. And for any further questions, moving on to the Deviant Moon deck, which is this one. Now, as per usual, I'm going to start shuffling the deck. As soon as I have a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's take a look what we've got. We are starting with 2 sevens in the top row. We've got the 7 of Cups, wishing things or wishing for things to be better maybe. 7 of Wands, feeling challenged, and the 6 of Cups in reverse. This seems like an internal process maybe within herself. Like the combination that I'm seeing here seems like it's the pandemic and we're sitting here having fun. Meanwhile, she feels like that is kind of in contrast with what she was trying to achieve. I feel like this is kind of like a feeling of guilt over here being represented, by which I mean she is, of course, there on break, but meanwhile all these people are in the hospital that she's of course been seeing, and some of them are in more or less terrible conditions, and maybe she's feeling guilty about being here with her family because she can, while others have to, I guess, go without certain family members or something along those lines. And she feels kind of like there is a challenge there. People are maybe challenging her or on her enjoyment. Kind of like how you had people being called out because they went to parties and stuff like that. So I don't know how big the gathering was there at the family getaway. And I'm not sure if people actually called her out for that, but she probably felt this internally, like feeling eyes upon her, like, oh, look, I'm having fun over here, or trying to have fun over here. And meanwhile, there's all these people that are in mourning. They have to somehow arrange a funeral and they can't even really attend because of the conditions and everything. So I feel like she's feeling guilt over here with these 3 cards right there. Then we have the Prince of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords, followed by the Lovers in reverse and the Fool in reverse. Okay, so we're very actionable, or at least we're very clear about what we're doing, where we're headed with the Fool in reverse. So we're not letting the universe guide us there, or at least not letting whimsy guide us, so to speak. Now the Knight of Swords is kind of like hastily spoken words, I think. And I'm thinking that somebody said something and they may not even really have directed it at her in particular. Maybe it was on the news or somewhere, but it really hit a nerve with her. And maybe there was also some arguing with somebody over here because the Lovers is in reverse. Something really rubbed her the wrong way. I'm thinking it may have been something that came from online, because over here with the hacker, this looks like somebody who is what we call chronically online, sitting in a dingy room, like the stereotype, basically behind a computer, and all they got is a computer, and all they do is sit in line and talk a bunch of nonsense, keyboard warrior stuff. So maybe she read a tweet or something that was like a negative, maybe not even directed at her in particular, but just she read that and was like, oh my god, no. And I really hate this. I hate that this is happening, that type of thing. Then the next three cards, the Five of Cups in reverse, the Ten of Cups, having fun, I guess, with people that you care about, and then the Empress. This almost seems like a bit of a last hurrah type of thing, or she tried to focus on just having fun together, like ignore the phone, ignore internet, ignore the news. Let's just leave that behind us for now. Try to focus on what we do still have. Try to have fun with the people that you care about and try to be a good caregiver. I don't know if she had children. Didn't really read up on that. Maybe she didn't. But in any case, there is a motherly role being carried out here. Maybe her family came in to take care of her, try to make her happy. They may have also noticed that she had a sour mood at some point, and then try to kind of calm her down and distract her with a family gathering, which they of course were already on, but like really trying to make it as much fun as possible regardless of the circumstances. But I think her reaction is shown in these next three cards with the Queen of Cups in reverse. We have the Tower also in reverse, and we have, this is I believe Temperance. This almost seems like she's trying to play nice, but in the meanwhile, there's a lot of stuff brewing in the background here with the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is a very emotional card. If it's upright, I would say it would be good emotional regulation, but I think in that the tower next to it has a lot of water on it as well, so I think this is turbulence inside of her. Like her emotions are all over the place, and even though she's trying to keep things calm, so the valiant effort to try and get her to relax and just have fun on this family gathering appears to not have helped all the way. Like there's still a lot of internal turmoil here. That is also very clear with the tower. You can see that the waves are very nasty over here. There's a lot going on. Well, the waves don't appear too nasty, but I mean the entire place is flooded. Basically, this is like New York being flooded. This is Statue of Liberty right there. So there's a lot of water going on. There's a lot of dark clouds in the background. And this tower has always reminded me of the movie AI. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the AI boy, basically at some point he goes to find the blue fairy and she's underwater somewhere. And he ends up in this place that's also been flooded, and they have these towers with water cascading down them and these big lions that are like crying because of all the water that's coming out of their eyes and stuff like that. Like a very dystopian scene, and I do think that really represents the internal turmoil that she may have had at that moment. Now let's see what happens next, because so far it looks like she's not doing well internally, even though she's pretending everything's fine right there with Temperance. Small stacks here and there. I feel like this is going to be a short reading because I'm getting a lot of cards over here. This is already 6, 7 of them. Yeah, 7 cards right here. Let's see what we got though. We have the 7 of Pentacles. We are looking at what is growing on the vine. She may have been taking stock of what's been going on, and I guess not liking it too much. We have the 3 of Wands in reverse. So right now they may have felt trapped, like I can't go anywhere right now. I can't do anything about whatever this is, that harvest. I can't help fix anything right now because I just can't go anywhere. Queen of Swords, trying to be very logical, and also with strength, trying to generate the strength to keep things logical and objective. Now, the Queen of Swords is normally a fairly cold person, but this queen actually is crying over the blood that's been spilled, which is also pooling at her feet, coming from her own sword. So it's kind of like she's made decisions in the past that are now coming back to haunt her, and she's really focusing on that. She's having a hard time with that, as well. So she's feeling trapped, basically, unable to do much about it, but trying to show as much strength as she can. Then we have Judgment in reverse, possibly feeling like she would be judged for her actions later. Now, I'm not saying that she had anything to be judged over, because from what I could tell, a lot of people were very positive about what she had tried to do. But it's usually people like that are trying to do the best that they can, that feel the judge the heaviest, because they, I guess, expect more from themselves as well. So now we have the Five of Wands. We have some struggle, and then we have the Knight of Cups. Okay. Now this entire deck, of course, has a lot of moon imagery, so often the images are taking place at night. But I feel like with this Five of Wands over here, this does look like, particularly with the Knight of Cups next to it, tossing and turning at night, trying to think things over, and kind of like fighting a losing battle against ourselves in this case. Let's see what else we can get. That one. Oh. And then these guys. Okay, this one first. Seven of Wands. So now the challenge that she, I guess, openly spoke about initially over there, that she felt that people were basically coming for her for the things that she was doing, like they're having fun over there with the Seven of Cups, is now coming back to haunt her at night as well. Kind of like a fever dream, almost like running to try and get away from this feeling of guilt, I suppose, and having a very hard time doing that. We have the Nine of Pentacles and the Moon in reverse, and then the Six of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. So maybe we're trying to make some type of donations here with the Six of Pentacles. But this combination with the Moon in reverse and the Nine of Pentacles over here on the left may also be her feeling like she has so much to give. And even though people might see her as charitable, she is always holding a bunch of stuff behind her back, like not literally trying to keep things from her, but I think in this state of mind that she's in right there, it's kind of like they think that I'm doing such good work, but I could have done so much more. See, because the Nine of Pentacles over here, some personal resources, some time, some other things that you could have invested maybe. And the Moon in particular is like playing puppet master on this card. It's got strings going to all these people down there. And maybe she's downplaying her own part in making things different, making a change. And the Moon in this case being a heavy influence, basically the nighttime circus that sometimes plays in your head, that I think people with depression would recognize as well, when nothing is good enough and you're not good enough, nothing you've ever done is good enough, like that type of thing is going on over there. And she's feeling like, I have so much more to give. Why, I could have done this, I could have done that, like that type of thing. Kind of like if you've ever watched the movie Schindler's List, there's this part near the end where he starts looking all the stuff that he has and goes, if I sold this car, I could have saved X amount of people more. If I did this, I could have like done that much more, like that type of thing. Like they've already done so much, but now they're still filled with regrets on all the stuff that they could have done extra. Even though other people probably wouldn't have agreed with that, like they probably would have told her that it was fine what she did what she could. But at that moment, I think it's not enough. At least she doesn't feel like it's enough. Also noticing, by the way, I'm looking back at the cards over here and the strength over here. Like, yeah, she's showing the strength to open the mouth of this beast. But if you look over here, the beast still has a hold. No matter how much they try to force it down, it's always going to have a grip on them. So this is something that is probably very strong, living very much inside of her. Then we have the Hermits. Yeah, we're keeping all of this to ourselves. We're also kind of secluding ourselves. She may have actually wanted to be alone for a while and struggle with this privately. Also kind of shows how she's not really talking to anybody else about this. Now, normally the shadow would be of yourself, and I'm guessing it's supposed to be of this person, but it also kind of looks like somebody looming over them. some shadowy figures maybe also having an influence, not physically present, but on her mind. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Feeling very much for the people who don't have, I suppose. You have the haves and the have-nots. I'm thinking in this situation, the whole situation of the world was also weighing her down, like how there's all these people that just can't get the help that they need and are being ignored by the people who have all the stuff. As you can see, there are a bunch of very rich looking people playing chess on a board that's being supported by somebody who doesn't even have clothes. They have some cards to play here with that extra piece that they've got. I think that's the king. But it could also be the scraps that are thrown at them basically to keep them somewhat obedient and happy. But I think in this situation it also means that she was spending a lot of time thinking about the people that were downtrodden in society. And that she's undoubtedly witnessed in her emergency room. Ace of Wands in reverse, and I guess that is feeling like there's not much she can do, or this could be the moment where she decides on an action which is not good. Could also have been spurred on by the fact that she felt powerless to do anything about it. As much as she would like to cradle the people that need it, there was only so much she could do. I think this is also the card that points to the unfortunate actions that she decided to take that day. All right, let's see if we can get a few final cards in. And then I think we're going to call it. That took a long time to get. So I'm guessing this is the only card we're going to get. Let me straighten everything out a little bit because everything kind of got moved. We have the Prince of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups in reverse, called the Filmmaker. Now, the Knight of Cups was also over here. Knight of Cups is normally a card of somebody who's kind of only real focusing on their own emotions, particularly if it's in reverse. I'm thinking this is basically a almost like a message of regrets, like I should have focused on other people. And that's kind of what's coming through. Like she maybe would have done something different if she had stopped to consider, or at least taken a step back, because she was too much caught up in that whirlwind of emotions. Also noticing that the Filmmaker over there has basically a body that consists of stars. So it is, and he's also behind a big light. Of course, that would normally be the projector, but I'm thinking like looking back on things, which is literally what they're doing. Like they're setting a scene for themselves, looking at the screen from the director's position. They would have done things differently if they had had the chance, but of course that didn't happen. So I'm thinking this is more of a sign that they regretted what they did, but it is what it is. Okay, well, since I couldn't really get much else out of the deck just now, it took a very long time to just get this one. I'm thinking this is the end of the reading for now. A little shorter than usual. Regardless, I hope you found that interesting. Make sure to leave a like and a comment. That really helps the channel along. In the meantime, I hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.